Yo, what is good? And welcome to one of the dopest shows on YouTube where we talk about everything under the sun as long as it get back to the money. I'm your host, Courtnee Edgar. And today, y'all, we are doing a round two on the Diddy case. And we're going to talk about some other topics too, about Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion with her lying ass. But we going to get there. But before we do, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm because it's going to help my content reach the type of people that like my type of content. All right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first topic of the day, and that's Mr. Tory Lanez. We're not going to spend that much time on it because we got to get to the nitty gritty of some other things. You feel me? So let's get into this topic and let's see what's going on with this. All right? Let's go.
Now from Fox, I'm AD Mac. Let's turn our attention to new developments involving Tory Lanez after a stabbing at a California prison. We do know the alleged attacker. More information here. This courtesy of TMZ, saying the guy who allegedly attacked and stabbed Tory Lanez in prison is serving.
Hold up. Before we get into it, I have to pose the question. Do you think that was a hit on Tory Lanez? Do you think that the stabbing that happened in jail with Tory Lanez, do you think that was a hit? Or do you think it was just some BS that happened and it was just a luck of the draw? I'll give y'all my thoughts on it, but y'all let me know what y'all think.
A life sentence for a murder charge, and this wasn't his first violent incident behind bars. The alleged attacker was identified by authorities as 42-year-old Santino Casio. Prison officials say he's serving a life sentence for second-degree murder and was previously convicted
and serving a life sentence. Take that into account now. And he's serving a life sentence
for an in-prison assault with a deadly weapon. So we're following the latest here on Live Now from Fox, and we're also learning more information about new evidence being brought forward in this case involving Tory Lanez. We watched it here on Wednesday as the legal team sought justice in the case of Tory Lanez. They presented new evidence that suggests he never fired the weapon the night Megan Thee Stallion was shot in the Hollywood Hills. Lanez is currently serving a 10-year sentence for the shooting. The legal team alleges she lied about what happened the night she was lost. So let's take you right now out to some of these details.
She shot herself in the foot already by going back on what she said when she went on what's her name show? I forgot her name, but when she went on Old Girl Show, she said that she lied.
Here on Live Now from Fox from Los Angeles earlier on today about this new evidence being presented. We'll see if it has any legs in the courts. Let's listen into this here on Live Now.
Here, some really, really compelling new evidence that you've never heard before. Our legal team will explain all of that to you. We will have updates on Tory Lanez, Mr. Peterson, on how he's doing. It's really sad to see the situation that he's in, and we think it's time. Enough is enough. It's time to bring the brother home.
Facts.
So with that, I would like to bring up our lead consultant, Mr. Walter Roberts.
Good morning. We are here today to bring to your attention some information Unite the People believes is exculpatory in Mr. Daystar Peterson's case, professionally known as Tory Lanez. Recently, we've been made aware that a member of the media, Mr. Gianno Caldwell, was working on an op-ed for the New York Post regarding Mr. Peterson's innocence. During his work on that op-ed, he became aware of some information in Unite the People's
Listen, your savings account is robbing you blind. But don't worry, I found out a way how to make my money work for me in my sleep, and I can help you do the exact same thing. Now, this isn't no get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't no pyramid scheme. This isn't something just trust me situation. This is legit, and this is something that your every average day person can implement in their lives, and they can really get to a bag. This isn't a short-term play. It's a long-term play. There's a promo going on right now So you definitely want to jump on it before the price goes up because this is too valuable. The link is in the description. And hey, let's get our money up. Let's get back to the video.
Was given to Unite the People by someone with information relevant to that case. The New York Post recently reached out to the prior district attorney, George Gascon, Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives. The only party that responded last week was Megan Pete's representatives with a request for more information. A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell. Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process. We filed an appellate brief and a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf. He responded. The case is fully briefed. We're just waiting for the appellate court's decision. We were willing to wait for the appellate process to play out, but given that brutal, unprovoked attack, we felt it necessary to come here today to provide you with this information. It is our intention to make a request to the governor to either pardon or commute the sentence of Mr. Peterson, so that when he recovers from this attack, he's not returned to a jail cell, but that he's allowed to go home and recover.
Bro, free, what up? Yo, free Tory Lanez, bro. Real talk. Free Tory Lanez. So I want to pose y'all another question. So this is on top of the first question that I asked. So the first question, for those of y'all who are just tuning in, the first question is, do you believe that that was a hit on Tory Lanez? With him being stabbed in jail, do you think that was a hit on Tory Lanez? That's the first question. The second question is this. Do you believe, because the evidence is coming out and it was Tory Lanez's bodyguard who actually who gave us some new evidence, saying that Tory Lanez never fired the gun. Do you think something should happen to Meg for lying? Do you think something should happen to Meg Thee Stallion for lying? What do y'all think? Y'all let me know in the chat. Exactly. It is exactly, Ms. Noma. It is a coincidence. I agree 100%. It is a coincidence. That's a fact.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Ms. Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial.
At all.
As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do.
Right.
Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times. Mr. Peterson grabbed.
Oh, let me pause real quick. So I think the bigger that I start to get on YouTube, I think that I'm gonna start having a little bit more derailments. Not on purpose, just because of the stupid shit that a lot of people like to say. Jada Boy says, wondering if you know that your black card got revoked. Nigga, why does it look like I care what you think? Why does it look like I care what you think about me, big dog? I really don't. While I'm over here focusing on getting to a bag, you know what I'm saying? While I'm focusing on getting to the money, you worrying about somebody racing a black car getting taken. At the end of the day, I'm still gonna be black, homeboy. Fuck is you talking about? Just because I ain't on the plantation like you think everything is about race? Oh, okay. I'll let you live in that lie. I'll let you live in that while I thrive over here. How about that?
And the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun.
Right.
This statement aligns.
I knew it.
Statement.
Bro, I knew it from the jump that Tory Lanez was innocent. I knew it out the gate. Hey, appreciate you. It's my role. I felt like throwing it on today. I appreciate you. I knew Tory Lanez was innocent the entire time. what I'm thinking that happened. Now, of course, you know, this is just my personal opinion. I think what ended up happening is when Tory Lanez was busting it down with Meg Thee Stallion, then he got tired of her. So she got mad and she wanted some retaliation. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. What did he say? Jada Boy says, you in the house. Yeah, I'm in my house. I'm in my house. You should try it. Anyway, right. You feel me? So
of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw two women fighting, two men break up the fight, one man grabbed the other one's arm, gunshots came from the passenger side.
Yep.
Passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete,
right,
or did not assault Miss Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case.
Yep.
For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson, even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense? We don't know. It should have been taken. It is Unite the People's understanding, regular LAPD practice at a crime scene like that. Anybody who's...
Well, that's so Ms. Noma, what ended up happening is the bodyguard of Tory Lanez, he's the one who spoke up and actually said that Tory Lanez didn't actually fire the weapon, and this is why we're here now. Because I believe the first reason was he didn't want to go to jail, of course, but to put another innocent man in jail is wild to me. But yeah, so he knew what happened, and so he came to the forefront. He came to the front of the congregation, and you know, he told exactly what happened. So that's why they're fighting it now. And yeah, so we just waiting to see what they're gonna say. That's all that is. It's stupid. And I'm a hold Tory a little accountable, just on the fact of this whole no snitching code. Listen. Listen, I'm sorry, bro. If I didn't do it, you understand me? If I did not do it, I am not going down for nobody. You hear me? Nobody. I'm not going down for him. Like, nope, it wasn't me. I can point you in the right direction. Cause don't come over here. Like, I get it, but nah, bro. I don't live by that. I don't live by that street code. Nope. I'm not going to jail for nobody. I tell the homies each and every time, like, look, big dog, do not put me in no compromising position. I promise you I won't take the L for you. I will not. 1,000%. Yeah, of course, yeah. I guess he didn't want to be called a snitch. Shouldn't me. Call me whatever you want. You can call me a stool pigeon. You can call me a snitch. You can call me all of it. Because guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm pointing the finger. He did it, Your Honor. That guy right there. Him right there. I'm double, tripling, quadruple pointing. That motherfucker right there, sitting in that chair, he did it. I ain't have nothing to do with it. Dead ass.
There, DNA is taken. Another irregularity. Why, at Miss Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member record company?
Hey, I guess, shoot, if I gotta get myself put in witness protection and I change my name from Courtney to Chad, cool, take it. I bet. Well, guess my name Chad. Guess I'm moving to Maine. Get something moving to Maine. I always wanted to visit, so now I get to live there for a little bit. Bet.
The executive allowed to participate. Highly irregular situation. Normally, we see cases, strangers are not allowed in these things, but it was in this case. All of these things point to the highly irregular nature of his trial and his conviction. It is our contention that he was wrongly convicted. And while we at first were willing to let the process play out, it is our contention now that if he is not pardoned or released promptly, he may never come out.
That's a fact.
And that would be the ultimate injustice, is that he gets killed in prison for something he did not do.
Yep, I agree.
At this time, I'd like to bring up Mr. Gianno Caldwell, the media member who was working on that op-ed for the New York Post. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. Shout out, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to that lawyer and free Tory Lanez, bro. I hope they get him up out of there so that man can live the rest of his life. Because I think they're going to give him 10 years, 10, 20 years, something like that. Like, man, you crazy as hell. Nope. Not on my dime, you not. Not on my watch. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Oh no, I think this is gonna be the icing on the cake right here. He's gonna get, I think he's gonna get out. I do. I think he's gonna get out. After this newfound information, they're gonna release him. They're gonna release him. And they should. They definitely should release him immediately. So yeah. Shout out to that man Torland, so he can get back out here and make some good music, man. Listen, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. So I want to go ahead and pivot over to the main topic of tonight. The main topic. Cassie and P. Diddy with them freak offs. Shorty over here testifying against P. Diddy. I don't think she's innocent either. I don't think she's nowhere near innocent. I don't think she's a victim. I don't believe it. I don't. But I'll give y'all my thoughts a little bit later. So I'm kind of let it play through a little bit. This one's a little bit longer. So I'll let it play and then we'll go from there. All right. Let's get it, dog.
Wrapped up her testimony in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking and racketeering trial.
Before we go, Ms. Noma says what classifies it well, meaning that she wasn't a willing participant in it. Now that doesn't mean that Diddy is innocent. That doesn't mean that Diddy is innocent. But that does mean that I don't believe that Cassie wasn't a willing participant, because I believe that she was a willing participant. I believe that she had her hand in that shit too. But now, because it's a money play, it's a money grab, now all of a sudden now I got to take you to court. I got to tell about all the egregious things you were doing because you don't want to pay up. That's what this is about. That's what I'm thinking. Nah. No, she didn't. She mentioned as well that she was that she liked doing it. That she had her hand in it because alleged she didn't want P. Diddy to leave her. That was out of her own mouth. So I don't know. Nope.
After nearly 20 hours on the stand, her account included graphic details of alleged abuse, rape, and coercion. But the defense, particularly today, pushed back with texts, audio, and claimed she was a willing participant in their so-called freak-offs. That's not all. We even learned more today about what was inside Diddy's hotel room and heard striking testimony from Dawn Richard. I'm going to be breaking down what happened.
I'll give you this. She became a victim once she got tired of doing it and wanted to get out. That's when I would consider that to be a victim. But as long as you are a willing participant and you like doing it, nah, you don't become a victim from doing it. You don't become a victim from that. Nope. Nah.
in today's courtroom with Elizabeth Milner, law and crimes reporter, who is inside to hear and see it all. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, after 4 days of harrowing testimony, Cassandra Ventura has finally stepped down from the witness stand in Sean Diddy Combs' federal sex trafficking and racketeering trial. And her account that spanned allegations of physical abuse, rape, coercion, alleged freak-offs, even this purported $20 million settlement, this painted quite a picture of their decades-long relationship. And it gives the jury a lot to think about. And I got to say, I think it made this case a whole lot grayer, particularly after the cross-examination. So we're going to break down everything that we learned from today's proceedings, day 5 of this bombshell trial, and also what we can expect to come. So to help me do that, I want to bring back on Law and Crime.
I don't know. It's hard. I can't put everything on Diddy. I can't put everything on him because I don't believe that he was the only willing participant. I don't believe that he was the only one, pulling the strings. I don't think so. I think there were a lot of other individuals who were a part of it, who were also pulling strings as well, who also had their hand in that shit. So I don't think Diddy alone is the issue. I think a lot of them were willing participants. A lot of them traded fame, allegedly. They traded fame for, for some freak offs. Like, it is what it is. Oh no, yeah. It's that it's them. I know what you mean, but I'm just saying though, I still don't think that it's everybody against Diddy because a lot of people were willing participants. Jada Boy says, skip all that. I just want to know what was going on in your head when you made that one video. You knew what was going on in my head, big dog. I said what I said. What you need to know what's going on in my head. I said what I said. I hold black people accountable who need to be held accountable. It's simple as that. There's no what was going on in your head. Nothing was going on in my head. It's called objective thinking. It's called thinking for yourself. It's called just because I'm black and you black don't mean I gotta think like you, bro. Do I have kids? What does that matter if I do or don't? What does it matter if I do or don't? Accountability is accountability, and I would have the accountability whether I have kids or don't have kids. My mindset would still be the same. How you gonna speak on the father that was grieving? Let me ask you a question. Did you grow up with the father in your house? Did you grow up in a 2-parent household, Jada Boy? Let me answer that for me. Did you grow up? You grew up with the father in the household, a strong black man, a stern black man, a man who gonna hold you accountable, not the pussyfoot, not the pushover dad. We talking about the strong dad. You sure? Because you sounded like a woman right now, big dog. That's how you sounded right now. That's how you sound. But that's neither here nor there. You got your opinion. I got mine. We both black. Respect my opinion. I respect your opinion. Simple as that. That's the black people aren't a monolith, right? We aren't the same. Just because we have the same skin color don't necessarily mean we got to think the same, bro. You grew up differently than I did. And vice versa. So just because I don't have the same thought processes as you, that don't necessarily mean that I'm this coon or whatever the case. Nah. I just have a different way of thinking about it. And if the shoe was on the other foot, and if it was a white man who did what the father did, I would tell him the same goddamn thing. I say, hey, he wrong as fuck for that. So it ain't just the black and white thing. It's a right or wrong situation. My guy, J. Ben, what's good with it, homie? That's all it is, bro.
Times reporter who has been inside that courtroom for every second of these proceedings. Elizabeth Milner is back with us. Elizabeth, so good to see you. First of all, I got to say, before you came out to do your hit, there was a little bit of like commotion out there. Basically, there's a lot of people watching this case. There's a lot of people outside that courthouse.
All right, let's see. He says, I'm not ignorant, but be serious. He got justice his way because at the end of the day, he wasn't gone. The justice he deserved. Okay, if in his mind he believed he got the justice that he does, that the retired officer, right? The retired officer who had nothing to do with the 18-year-old getting killed, right? He had nothing to do with it. So if he feels justified by doing that, that's on him. But that don't mean that he shouldn't be held accountable. That's the point that I'm making. You can, if you choose to crash out, regardless if you white or black, if you choose to crash out, that don't mean you don't need to be held accountable because you felt as if you needed to seek justice. Well, come on, dog. Come on. Come on. Now, we can use, now watch this. Now watch this. Let's see if you have, would you have the same energy? Would you have the same energy if that retired cop, somebody from his family say, you know what? Y'all just want to go randomly kill, y'all just want to go randomly unalive somebody. So guess what? Since y'all want to unalive my father or my grandfather, or whoever, I'm gonna go find somebody black and I'm gonna unalive them too, simply because of that. Are you gonna be in the uproar? Or are you gonna say I understand it? What you gonna say? Are you gonna have the same energy about him justice being served? Or are you gonna have the same energy for that situation? But answer the question: are you gonna have for the retired, anybody of that, any family member of that retired officer who got ran over? If one of his children decided to retaliate on the black community, are you gonna have the same? Are you gonna have the same energy and say, "Well, shit, bro, I respect it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'll do the same thing." Are you gonna say the same thing that you're saying about this, or do you feel as if he's serving justice?
Can you briefly explain to us what the atmosphere is like, both inside and outside the courtroom? It feels like that is the scene. That's the epicenter right now.
Absolutely. And, you know, look, there's been a lot of public interest in this case, not just from us in the media, but also those who just either want to get a glimpse of Diddy himself, want to get a glimpse of Diddy's family. And so,
sidebar, what the heck this girl got on? Is she homeless? Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Kirsten? How you doing? Tatted by TJ. What up with it? What she got on? What is this?
there is never, you know, just not enough people from the public who are here outside that courtroom. When I came outside today just to chat with you, Jesse, I walked outside and all of a sudden I saw a woman with kind of hair extensions in her hair. She was yelling back and forth with a man. A man was yelling at her. It was pretty tense. I didn't know kind of what was going on, but a lot of people were crowded.
So he says, get back is get back regardless, but it's not about black and white. It's about crew in the blue. It ain't about the crew in the bruh. Y'all take one group of people, one bad group, and y'all put them in one big ass category. Just like you said earlier, you aren't ignorant, bro. So you would know that that doesn't mean that all cops are bad. That's just like saying if we see one thug, that means all black people are bad, bro. Cops aren't a monolith. Black people aren't a monolith. White people aren't a monolith. You can't take one group of bad people and then try to place it on the entire group. That's why I said that's why I specifically said there's a subgroup of black people in the community. They are trash. That don't mean if it don't apply, let it fly. If you know you ain't trash, then you know I ain't talking about you. That goes for anything. All right, JV says got that young granny panty. Hey, you see that shit, bro? It said, get back on a retired cat and get back though. If I beef with you and go unplug your great granddaddy life support, the fuck he do that to her. Hey, that's facts though. I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, exactly. I feel that.
around them. I walk across the
I'm
street
doing
and
good,
all I
Chris. I'm
see
doing
are
good.
free Diddy t-shirts, which is very surprising, something I didn't see when I entered the courtroom this morning, but that was very early this morning, so maybe a lot of people were realizing it's a Friday. Let me go and
But
to the
see, you know what I'm
courthouse.
saying?
Let
Look
me
at
see
see
what's
on,
up, and let
but
me
see,
just
look
see
at
if
that. That's what I'm talking about. Look at this shit right here. This is the subgroup of black community that I'm talking about right here. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Buddy got on, like he got on some Payless Chelsea boots. He got a pants leg that's risen up, got everything in his pocket because them pockets bulging. He got a button-down shirt that looked like it don't fit and is rolled up, and he got a beanie on his head. Ain't nothing matching. Then you got this other chick over here. She got extensions, not in her head, but in her hand. She got shorts all the way up to like literally at the bottom of her butt cheek. And a spaghetti strap shirt, probably got some slides on or some slippers. And they're out here yelling on the sidewalk in front of the courthouse. You think I, Courtnee Edgar, you think I want to be placed in, you think I want to be a part of that type of community right there? Because they ain't a representation of all black people, but some black people will, but some people will look at them like, see, some people will look at that right there and say, you see that? Nope. It's a no for me.
I can get a glimpse, because some people are still under the assumption Diddy just walks out of the courtroom every day, but that's not the case. He still goes back to MDC Brooklyn every night, every day after trial. But for the most part, there's still kind of a busy scene. Even right behind me, a lot of people kind of crowding around. Either the media is going to be out there, it's people with cameras, their cell phone cameras, actual physical cameras as well.
Look at this.
MDC Brooklyn
Look at this. JB says them her ex-boyfriend's bosses she kept before she switched feminists. Listen, my bad for keep pausing it, but just look what I'm talking about.
Every day after trial.
Look at watch
but
this.
For the most part, there's still kind of a busy scene. Even right behind me, a lot of people kind of crowding around. Either the media is going to be out there.
Look what she got on. You think?
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Look at it. Just look at that. Look at that. I'm gonna let it keep playing. But y'all see that, right? Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Am I tripping? I bet.
It's people with cameras, their cell phone cameras, actual physical cameras as well too, just trying to get a glimpse of what all this action is. Because, you know, even with us in the media, the cameras still go all the way down the block. You can think of pretty much every big legacy station that is here at the courtroom covering this case. You can think of podcasts, you can think of YouTubers and influencers who just want a piece of this action to see what this proceeding is like, to see the trial of Diddy, because that's exactly what is happening. As far as inside the courtroom today, as far as the mood goes and everything like that, it was another highly anticipated day because we were wondering how the cross-examination of Cassie Ventura would continue. As far as those who were there to support Diddy today, again, it was definitely a different scene than it was the first couple of days of trial, in that, you know, his daughters aren't there anymore, his mother wasn't there. But, you know, just I do want to say, as far as why they're not there, a source did tell me it's because the twins are about to graduate. It is graduation season, it's prom season, so they did fly back home in order to attend to those events. But as far as the support system that Diddy did have inside the courtroom, it was his sons, his 3 adult sons, who are inside that courtroom today: Quincy, Justin Combs, Christian Combs. And then as far as Cassie's support system inside that courtroom,
he don't look like
you had
Puff
her
at all.
attorney, Doug
Well, we just found out that
that
ain't Puff, that ain't his
Cassie's
actual
mother
son.
inside that courtroom, her brother, and then of course her husband, Alex Fine. And so a lot.
Yeah, look at this. How would you feel? How would y'all feel? This to the fellas. Fellas, how would y'all feel if you find out your chick was a part of some free calls? But mind you, he was too. Allegedly. He was too. But he decided to cape. He decided to say, you know what? I'm gonna take, you know what, baby girl, I'm gonna take you away from here, man. You know what I'm saying? You deserve better, man. You deserve this only from me. What up, Devin? Talking about getting peed on. Oh, and he's still with her. That's the crazy part. That shit blows me. That shit blows me. And then she pregnant. Boy, hell no. Hell no. J Ben says Medea wig with bikini mommeries, boxes with the pee hole, and SpongeBob sock is insane work. She got on great value EDC fit. For real though, dog.
A lot of people just in general were anticipating
Oh
where
my
this
God.
cross-examination would go, how the government would come back from the cross-examination, especially, you know, after seeing a bunch of text messages that were either about, you know, them being in love together, or the sexually explicit messages that were talked about at nauseum today. But that was kind of the mood and the atmosphere as far as kind of what's going down here at the federal courthouse.
Now, we've said this before, I'll say it again. There are no cameras allowed in this courtroom, unfortunately. There's no recording devices or transcribing devices that are allowed.
Right.
But if they were, you know how much Claude NoPin would help? This is an incredible tool that leverages AI to boost productivity. So first of all, you can wear it in all different kinds of ways on your wrist. Right now, I have it on my lapel. And you can use it during meetings, interviews, anytime you need to capture everything.
I need to, hey, listen, what company is this? Plod.ai. I need y'all to hit me up. Because so that way I can promote that, because that's a pretty solid device. Not to scheme on nobody, but you know what I'm saying? If you're going to lectures, you know, if you're going to, man, listen, y'all contact me at CCJE.LLC at gmail.com. Contact me. Let's do a deal. You hear me? But let me skip a little bit ahead on that stuff.
And two that are very, very pivotal to this case, which we'll get to. Overall, real quick, what did you notice from the jury today? What was their demeanor? Anything catch your attention about them? I know it's so hard to try to read what they're doing, but anything you can tell us about the jury?
Yeah, it's always hard to kind of read them, especially from where I was sitting inside the courtroom today. So I got that angled view, which means I got a lot of the back of their head. So I saw a lot of them, for the most part, doing what they've been doing all week, something that the judge even noted, paying attention. They were paying attention. They were jotting down notes. They were looking at exhibits. Again, still doing that tennis match between either looking at Ana Maria Estevao doing the cross-examination, then looking at Cassie, or they're just focusing on Cassie. But there was still, as far as what I could see from the jury, it doesn't seem like they're bored of this case, maybe just yet. But for the most part, they are being very attentive. As the judge pointed out today, they're coming in on time. They are ready to serve on this jury, and they have been paying very close attention to everything that's going on.
And that's interesting you say that, because yesterday, I think you were saying during the cross-examination, they looked a little checked out maybe. I was wondering maybe it was they understood where the defense's case was going. Was it a bit too repetitive? But I felt today's cross-examination was different. I'll tell you, one of the...
Every month, this Airbnb pays me in semi-passive income. Now, here's the thing. I don't own it. And
the things that everybody's been talking about while you've been in the courthouse was apparently this audio recording that was played of Cassandra Ventura, where she was apparently quite angry. This is interesting because in a case where the defense is trying to characterize everything that Cassandra Ventura allegedly went through was consensual, and that Diddy's actions are being mischaracterized as criminal, what was this audio tape? What was the value of this audio tape? What did the jury hear?
Well, the value of the audio tape seemed pretty great to the defense. It was from 2014, and it was an audio recording between Cassie and somebody that she had worked with named Ceeedgar. Now, Ceeedgar's kind of important to Cassie's story because Ceeedgar had told Cassie he had an sexually explicit video of her on his phone that somebody had told him about this video. And so she confronted Ceeedgar about this because she had initially thought this was a freak off video and just wanted to know where he had gotten this video. How did this video come into his possession? And so the audio was, I think, kind of a pretty bombshell moment this morning with the testimony goes, because when you're listening to Cassie on the stand, she is very soft spoken. She is very quiet and she is very calm, cool, and collected when she's answering questions. But under this audio, you could tell, and this was, more than 10 years ago at this point, but you could tell she was very, very upset while trying to confront Ceeedgar about essentially this sexually explicit video. So it was taken in Atlantic City, and then the defense had kind of point out during this time Diddy was all the way in California. But Cassie had told Ceeedgar on this audio recording, we'll figure it out, and asked him, so you saw a video of me pleasuring myself? And Ceeedgar said that he did have the video and he had this video on her phone. And Cassie says, well, it's not me pleasuring myself because you said somebody else was in the room. And Cassie repeatedly had asked, can I see it? Can I see it? Can I see it? Then she goes into, and this is probably the part that kind of may have worked in the defense's favor. She says, I will kill you. I will kill you. I'll put you in a desert. I will cut you. She says, I'll get somebody else to do it because you're effing with my life. She had said that, this sugar honey iced tea is not cool, and you can take the first letters of those entire words to see what I'm talking about. But essentially it was just kind of her screaming as she confronted Ceeedgar about this sexually explicit video I had talked about during the lunch hour. I can understand why she would be noticeably angry about this, right? Like, it's a private video that somebody randomly kind of has in their possession. And so, we all say things that we don't necessarily mean, such as I will kill you. We kind of say that when we're mad. We may say it in jest. It's unclear if, she actually wanted to pursue this or anything like that. But for the most part, again, I can understand her rage in saying these things. But for the defense, it definitely was something that they were trying to paint it as. Maybe you're not as,
I'm still on. Listen, bro. I don't feel bad. But I can only imagine what the guy that she's with right now. I honestly and truthfully don't believe that they will be together for a long time. Cassie and her new guy, I guarantee you they will not be together for a long time after this trial. There's no way. I'll give it a year. And then that's just being generous. I'm giving them a year. That's just generous. There's no way that any man, even the simps, there is no way that you're gonna be able to look across at this woman who's done some crazy and nasty things with Diddy. You to look across the table at her and be like, yeah, that's my baby right there. That's the love of my life. There is no way you can convince me, dog. There is no way you can convince me of that. No way. Call me crazy. Nope. Absolutely not.
Meek and quiet as you kind of portray yourself to be. You can get aggressive, you can go and be confrontational, and then you can use your boyfriend and his power to kind of make the threat a little more serious. Because when Cassie was under direct examination, she had talked at great length just about this meetup with Ceeedgar and how Diddy security was involved and how they had this whole meetup about this, and it was kind of a group meeting. And that
listen, your savings account is robbing you blind, but don't worry, I found out a way how to make my money work for me in my sleep, and I can help you do the exact same thing. Now, this isn't no get rich quick scheme. This isn't no pyramid scheme. This isn't something just trust me situation. This is legit, and this is something that your every average day person can implement in their lives, and they can really get to a bag. This isn't a short-term play. It's a long-term play. There's a promo going on right now, so you definitely want to jump on it before the price goes up, because this is too valuable. The link is in the description, and hey, let's get our money up. Let's get back to the video.
kind of coming from the audio, it was just kind of a little stark contrast and but she was again forthcoming about her being just embarrassed or upset if this video were to get leaked or to get out into the public. And so that was the pretty much the essence of this video, but or excuse me, this audio recording. But you know, you could definitely hear her rage and her kind of upsetness about this whole incident.
Well, I tell you, I think what the defense might have been doing was saying, man, she didn't want this tape to get out. And she made sure, and Combs did everything in his power to make sure this tape didn't go out. And it's not so much, hey, this is a criminal trying to cover up his criminal activity, but this is a guy who's trying to make sure that Cassandra Ventura and he are protected from the tape coming out. Again, recharacterizing some of Sean Combs' behavior. That's what I took away from it. But by the way, I have to ask this real quick. Jonathan Oddie, Jonathan Oddie, this, you know, he was the guy that allegedly shot up the Trump property in 2018. This male performer, at the time of his arrest, he told investigators he was a sex slave of Sean Combs, mentioned Cassandra Ventura. At the time, nobody really knew what to take of it. He came up with regarding this recording today?
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
He definitely did, but not necessarily regarding this particular recording when it comes to Ceeedgar. As far as the recording goes, that mentioned Jonathan Oddie, it was about this secret video that he had taken of Cassie and Diddy at a freak off, and Diddy was trying to make this video go away. And according to Cassie, while she was testifying, that Diddy spent a significant amount of money so that this video wouldn't get released. And then Cassie had explained during her cross today that essentially she and Diddy never used Jonathan again after he had did this. He said that she had said that he was never used again in a freak off because she was concerned about this situation because Oddie had threatened to release this video. When Cassie spoke to Diddy just about this recording, Diddy essentially said, I'll take care of it. And the defense said, you know, would this video be embarrassing if it was released, especially for Diddy, because Diddy is a celebrity, but it would be embarrassing for you too, right? Because you're also a high profile name around this time period. And so that was definitely the Oddie mention that was, you know, kind of clicked in my head today, because he was someone brought up a couple of days ago when Cassie was under her direct examination, because they put up a whole bunch of exhibits, a whole bunch of photos of the escorts that were used in freak offs, and the face that definitely stood out to me was Jonathan's face. And so just to kind of hear essentially why Jonathan was never used again during a freak off, this kind of explains it.
Now, there was a lot of testimony regarding the 2016 incident at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles, where you have this videotape footage of Combs appearing to beat Cassandra Ventura. We've talked about that ad nauseum. I mean, it's one of the key pieces of evidence. But there was a lot more about the communications that came up after this happened, right? Can you talk to us about those communications? What were Combs and Ventura talking about after this 2016 incident?
Monday CRM has the best AI features in the game.
Especially in sales.
Hands down.
So for me, email composition works like magic. You know me, I'm not a great writer, but AI helps me keep it super professional, super engaging, no more embarrassment.
So the defense was essentially asking Cassie, you know, was Diddy blacked out during this incident? Cassie said she had wrote a message to Diddy around this time. You get effed up the wrong way. You always want to show me that you have the power to knock me around like a rag doll, a message that I think we have seen even prior to trial. The defense was kind of insinuating that Diddy had did this because he was combining a mixture of drugs and alcohol. Even during yesterday's cross-examination, they were kind of insinuating that Diddy had a bad batch of drugs when he had attacked Cassie in that hotel room. She kept on during this moment, and I actually kind of wrote this down. She kept on kind of forgetting to submit stuff into evidence. At one point, she even said, I'm sorry. And it was just kind of a whole incident. And so Cassie was talking about, Diddy had sent a message to Cassie saying, I'm so horny for you. Cassie had responded, you are? What made you feel that way? And because these text messages were sent after the physical assault that happened at the Intercontinental Hotel. She said while she was on the stand today that it was essentially strange for Diddy to even kind of say that. Cassie had responded in a message to him saying, we need a different vibe from Friday, Friday being the night that the day that the hotel incident had happened. And Diddy responded to Cassie, F Friday and F-U-C-K Friday. Diddy had also said, you know, I don't want to do that again. And Cassie had responded, LOL, true. And I'm kind of paraphrasing these text messages because they went by so fast. And then Diddy had responded to Cassie, what are you doing? And Cassie later sent a text message essentially saying, I love you. And so I think that what the defense was trying to do there is just insinuate that even after this brutal and physical assault that happened, that
fam, this entire relationship was toxic as hell on both ends. Nope, I still don't think Cassie a victim. Nope, I don't. I do not. I think she was just as crazy as this motherfucker was. Real talk.
They just kind of went back to their normal pattern of just saying I love you to one another, kind of putting a Band-Aid over the situation, but still it wasn't a situation where she had called things off completely or anything like that. Then then Cassie was asked about the photos that she had took of her face after the assault. And Cassie said she actually didn't remember taking those photos. And these were photos that we had seen inside the courtroom. It's of Cassie in the back of the Uber after this assault happened. She had sunglasses on, but you could definitely see one, a busted lip or a fat lip as she had called it. But you could also see a black eye because she said she got hit in the face before she even left that hotel room, before we had seen that surveillance video that she was actually assaulted first in the hotel room before everything else happened in the aftermath of that. And so I think the defense, again, trying to kind of paint this.
But see, here's my question though. See, because they only, now I get it. You can really only go by what you see in the evidence that's presented to you. But I like to look at things from all angles. What happened in that room before Cassie ran up out of there? That's what I want to know. I want to know what happened. What led up to that situation of him running down the hall with a towel on, in slides, and doing what he did to her? I want to know what happened. I don't think she's fully innocent. I'm gonna be 100% honest about it. I don't think she's 100% innocent. I don't. I think she probably provoked it. Could have been some drugs in there too. I think there's a lot of things that happen that they're leaving out. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. That's what I think. It's my personal opinion.
As this was a domestic violence thing. This was something that always happened, but this was something that had happened because Diddy was on drugs during this time period. I was really kind of thinking that at some point today, they would show that apology video that Diddy had done that we had all seen, that was posted to his Instagram story after the video was released. But at no point today did either the government or even the defense bring this video up, because if you're going to be talking about how this, how drugs were at the crux of this, and he was so effed up from all these drugs when all of this was happening, that you would think that because Diddy had said during his apology video that I was so messed up during this time period, and that I was thinking that, you know, essentially that he was so messed up from the drugs, that they would try to paint that picture. But that video didn't even come in today. We haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it, but it's possibly we haven't seen it yet too.
And I mean, there was that message where she says, I'm not a rag doll, I'm somebody's child. That's pretty impactful message, to say the least. Now, another really difficult moment that they spent a lot of time questioning about was the 2018 alleged rape, right? So she had testified that Sean Combs raped her, and that there was another time after that they had consensual sex. What was the cross-examination like regarding that alleged rape? Because that is a key alleged moment in this case.
And a moment too, especially in the courtroom, because this was the moment that Alex Fine had to get out of the courtroom, because again, as we've been talking about this kind of a couple of days now, that
he looked like Captain Saberho. Yeah, he looked like it. Yep. He looked like the type. He fit the description, dog. He fit the description. What it do? What's good with it? My boy? He fit the description. He looked like Captain Saberho. That's exactly what he looked like. Yup.
the defense might possibly call Alex Fine as a witness to impeach his own wife's credibility, something that I think is kind of a very interesting tactic for the defense to kind of take. But, you know, inside the courtroom, Alex Fine isn't listening to this portion of the testimony. He actually just kind of walks out and sits, I guess, outside or in a private room, kind of waiting to get the call to come back in. But as far as the 2018 alleged rape that had happened, the defense was kind of asking Cassie a little bit about.
He do look like the captain, don't it, bro? He looked like the captain, bro.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
That relationship ain't gonna last. Mark my words today. Mark my words today. That relationship will not last. Mark my words. That relationship will not last. I give it a year. I give it 1 year from today. From today. Listen, just make it make sense to me. Just pay attention to what I'm telling you right now. You sitting in the courtroom, you hear everything that's going on. Your shorty getting, you hear shit about your shorty getting peed in the mouth, bro. This chick that you kiss on every day. Getting bum rushed by 18 dinguses. 18 in them joints. Ramshacked. Twisted every which way you can think possible. And you telling me as a man, you gonna be able to stay strong with that and be like, yeah, that's my baby right there.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Nope. Nope. He gonna be doing something. He gonna be doing something because there is no way any sane man is gonna be able to sit through that and be like, yeah, I want to be with her for the rest of my life. But you got to be slow. It must be the fentanyl. Gotta be something. There's no way.
I guess outside or in a private room, kind of waiting to get the call to come back in. But as far as the 2018 alleged rape that had happened, the defense was kind of asking Cassie a little bit about why she and Diddy were meeting around this time. And Cassie had said that she was actually no longer with Diddy at this time period. She was actually dating her.
Look at him. He looked like, man, listen, he looked like he liked that thing too. He looked like he liked that thing too. Let me see. Diddy Lover, do you not think she told her husband about all this before? Jeez, shut up. They have children together. He's a real man who knows how to love.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
One thing I would never do is listen to. Oh my God. First of all, I ain't no Diddy lover at all. That's one. No, that's not a real man. That's a man. That is the epitome of an insecure man. That's a man who don't have standards for himself. That's a man whose standards is in hell, literally. He don't have standards for himself. Because a man who has standards, a man who has value, a man who values himself very high will not tolerate. I don't give a fuck how good she looks. After you hear the egregious things that she has done with her ex and other men at the same time, you mean to tell me you think that's okay? You think that he's a real man because of that? You got to be stupid on every level. You got to be. You got to be stupid. There's no way. But let me guess, you probably a 304 too, huh? That's probably what it is. Only 304s talk like this. Only the 304s talk like this. Because of your fucked up decisions, because you decided to go out here and get bust down and busted open for a real one by every nigga that you could think of. You think that a man should take you as you are. Man, you better get the fuck out of here.
Her now husband, that being Alex Fine. So around this time, Cassie.
A real man knows how to love. So you telling me a man who decides not to take a woman who's been bust down by multiple men at the same time, you mean to tell me a man who doesn't tolerate that don't know how to love? Security, somebody come get him. Get out of here.
He had sent a message to Diddy saying, I love myself more, paraphrasing, because again, a lot of messages going back and forth. She said, I love myself more. I forgave you. And that she never went away. She being Gina, somebody who has been very much of a talking point throughout Cassie's testimony, because according to Cassie, she being Gina, kind of helped with the dissolve of the relationship, because Cassie had seen a photo of Diddy and Gina together, as Cassie was thinking that at this point the two were monogamous and that Diddy was no longer seeing Gina. So Cassie had sent a message to Diddy saying,
yep, that's exactly what he is. A nasty simp. That's exactly what he is. A nasty simp. A nasty simp. That's exactly what he is. You are correct. That is exactly what Cassie's man and P. Diddy, both of them, nasty simps.
And I promised I wouldn't be with you anymore. So around August of 2018, they had a closure conversation. And during this time period, Diddy was trying to get Cassie to go to Burning Man, a big music festival that I guess the two had gone to a number of times throughout the course of their relationship, because I think we have to always kind of put in context.
If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's new program where you could access up to
These two were together for a long period of time, a longer relationship than I've ever had in my life, minus my parents, you know? And so 11 years is a long time period. And yes, they were on and off for a lot of periods of time, but it seems like from these messages that Diddy was kind of thinking, maybe we'll get back together. Maybe this isn't truly the end or anything like that. So around this time, the defense was kind of bringing up the rape allegations that were made in Cassie's federal lawsuit, which we know was settled the next day, because the defense was trying to say that you had said this happened in August, but in your lawsuit, you said this happened in September and not August. You met with prosecutors in 2023 after the lawsuit was filed in New York. And the defense says you told the government that this incident happened in September of 2018. And then the defense says that Diddy was acting strangely, that Cassie had said that Diddy was acting strangely to the government during a 2023 meeting that the two had, that Cassie had with federal prosecutors and federal agents, that she was kind of describing the alleged rape that happened and said on that night that Diddy was acting pretty strange. The defense says that Cassie had told the government Diddy was kind of acting anxious as well too, something that wasn't necessarily talked about during her testimony when she was recounting the alleged rape. The defense asked Cassie that you told the government that Diddy was bipolar and that he actually wasn't in his right state of mind. And so then we got more text messages, these being from August 21st of 2018. Always paraphrasing, just got to say, Cassie wrote to Diddy, hit me when you can, hit as in like, let me meet up with you. Diddy had responded, okay, I'm at an investors conference, you good? Diddy said, I'm calling, it's going straight to voicemail. Cassie said, thank you. And then Diddy said, I know I look bad to you. And so I thought that was kind of an interesting point, because maybe it is kind of helping her claims a little bit here that you know, things just weren't necessarily right. And so we saw more text messages from that day where the defense says that Cassie told the government in April of 2025, just last month, that the rape happened in August of 2018. And I think they were trying to point out that you said it happened in August. Did it happen in August? Did it happen in September? So then after we saw these text messages from August of 2018, Cassie was asked, you know, do you hate Diddy? And she said that she even still doesn't hate Diddy in the present time. She still has love for the past. We saw more text messages. This one's from August of 2018. Diddy saying to Cassie, can you call me, please? Cassie saying, I'm so heartbroken. Diddy saying, me too, have a good night. The defense kind of trying to point out if, you know, if the rape happened in August, why is this texting going back and forth? Or maybe this is verifying that this happened in September. And so then we saw some September text messages where Cassie asked Diddy, how was the yoga treating you? Diddy was apparently sleeping with a yoga instructor. That's kind of what the insinuation was, that he was having an intimate relationship with his yoga instructor. And then Diddy responded, what does yoga have to do with me? Cassie wrote to Diddy, I heard you were dating. Cassie said, who do you think I'm dating? Cassie said, I actually need to stop even caring. And Diddy said, do you even want to start dating? Let's talk about it. We fast forward to just a week later where Diddy said, do what you got to do. Cassie said, well, let's just talk tomorrow. Diddy said, I don't want a combo where you break up with me again. Cassie said, I do love you. I don't want to I don't want to be your girlfriend anymore. Then we kind of get into Alex Fine a little bit, her now husband. And so around this time, this also being in September of 2018, that Diddy found out that Cassie was seeing Alex Fine when the two being Cassie and Diddy were intimate together, because I guess Alex Fine had called Cassie around this time. And it's pretty important to understand a little bit of why Diddy was possibly upset, because around this time, Alex Fine was a personal trainer. Diddy actually hired Alex Fine to train Cassie. So that's just another point that the defense always kind of tries to make there. After Cassie had told Diddy that she had a great night with him, the defense asked, if Alex found out about Diddy. And when the alleged rape was talked about, the defense asked, so did your husband punch a wall when you found this out? And Cassie said, the defense was kind of trying to say it as the rape had happened when Alex was calling. Cassie was kind of trying to clarify that that's not the time that this alleged rape had happened. But essentially the defense was like, when Alex had found out that this had happened to his now wife, that he was just so angry that he became violent and punched a wall during this moment. So I think if, Alex Fine is called as a as a defense witness, that this will definitely be a point that they'll talk about during his testimony, if he does take the stand for the defense, because he might have to.
Yeah, it's tough to know about that if he's actually going to. Probably not. Yeah, what's interesting, Elizabeth? Apparently they were communicating.
3 signs your car accident is worth major compensation. If you've been in a car accident recently.
What, 2020? Like recently? What, 3 years before she filed the lawsuit against him? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, and according to Cassie, they still communicated after their breakup. So you see more messages, some from March of 2019, but the ones from March of 2020, they were still even communicating. This was the time around COVID. Not sure if maybe that kind of played a part into the two still communicating. But I think it's important to kind of note about here. During 2020, Cassie was already married to Alex Fine. She, I think at this point, was pregnant, maybe with their first child at this point. But Diddy had wrote to Cassie, again, this being in March of 2020, miss my best friend. Cassie responded, miss you too. Hope you're taking care of yourself. Diddy responded, again, always paraphrasing here, sending you nothing but love. But the text messages was a lot longer than that. Cassie responded, send my love to them being his children, because they were talking about his kids and how they're doing well and stuff like that. Diddy had wrote back to Cassie saying, you are my ride or die. I thank God for the time that we had together. Again, the defense kind of trying to paint it out that there was love even as recently as just 2020 between the two. And it's interesting because I had noted in my notes, my many of notes, and I'm out on notebook 3 now, that Diddy kept looking at Cassie during this time. He wasn't kind of doing the overanalyzing of playing into his defense. He was kind of looking directly at Cassie. Maybe that was a soft spot for him. Not 100% sure, obviously not in his mind or anything like that. Then Cassie responded a little later from the whole ride or die text, where Cassie said, I took my time to gather my thoughts. The things you said blew my mind. I wouldn't be in this beautiful time without you. The beautiful time being, her family that she now has with her husband. And then they actually asked for a closure meeting around this time. Again, this being 2020. Then Diddy responded to Cassie saying, tears of joy. I'm happy you found someone. You deserve the world. You deserve to be loved and respected. Please let me know if you want to have a sit down and talk, and I'll make myself available. And even while Cassie was on the stand today, I think she was kind of insinuating that this is something that she had always wanted to hear. But then if you think about just these dates, Jesse, these were in 2020. Cassie said that around this time, she was still kind of doing illegal drugs around this time up until 2022. Then she went to rehab in 2023. And then that's when, she was starting to kind of get these flashbacks and starting to kind of through her trauma therapy and stuff like that, still kind of reprocess everything that she had gone through. I mean, this is somebody that she was with for 11 years. This is somebody that she was with throughout all of her, most of her adult life, I should say. And so I think, just putting everything into context, it kind of makes a little sense. Who doesn't break up with someone and then message them, a couple of years ago talking about the good times? Because that's sometimes things that people do. This is a normal reaction. And so for the most part, I think the defense was trying to point out that this essentially, that they ended with love, that Diddy, even after, still cared about Cassie. But for the most part, it seems like, you know, Cassie still, for the most part, it seemed like Cassie still, again.
All right, so this is what I think. This is what I think gonna end up happening, bro. Real talk. I think, let me get the big screen here. I think what's gonna happen is that they're gonna come to a settlement. I think Diddy's gonna get out of jail. I do. Time served, probation. I think he gonna end up getting out. But I think what they had to do, they had to make a statement. Let's see, Cat Clearance. What's up? What's your question? But yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. I do think that Diddy probably will get out. He'll probably be on probation for some years. But other than that, it's gonna be a quick little money grab for Cassie. They gonna move on. Her and her husband, they gonna be together for about a year. Then they gonna break up for some bullshit, probably because of her past traumas. You know what I'm saying? Now she gonna be a single baby mama. Real talk. That's exactly what I think is gonna happen. I'm not exaggerating. That's exactly what I think is gonna happen. Dead ass, bro. Not lying. Dead ass. That's exactly what I think.
Listen, your savings account is robbing you blind. But don't worry, I found out a way how to make my money work for me in my sleep, and I can help you do the exact same thing. Now, this isn't no get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't no pyramid scheme. This isn't something just trust me situation. This is legit, and this is something that your every average day person can implement in their lives, and they can really get to a bag. This isn't a short-term play. It's a long-term play. There's a promo going on right now, so you definitely want to jump on it before the price goes up because this is too valuable. The link is in the description, and hey, let's get our money up. Let's get back to the video.
Yeah, man. Look, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe for the algorithm. You know, this is for the people that like my type of content and want to tap in with your boy. Look, we're trying to get the 1,000 subscribers. So look, I need y'all to tap the hell in. And make sure you go and get the ebook, Earn While You Save. I'm telling you, for all beginners, for people who don't know how to save their money, for the people who are looking for ways to actually grow your wealth long term. You're not looking for a quick money play. Like this ain't gambling. This ain't DraftKings. This ain't none of that. This is literally being able to put your money and invest your money and have your money work for you while you sleep, literally. And I mean that in every facet of what I say. So go and get that ebook, Earn While You Save. Link is in the description. So I want to go ahead and move on to the last topic for tonight. Like I said before, like I said last live stream, man, I want to start talking a little bit more about money. You know, I'm not gonna dive heavy into it. And the reason I want to dive into it is because there are things that I've learned that's helping me grow my wealth as well. And I also want to each one teach one. So for those people out there, you know, you may be having some money problems. So we get to learn together, and the things that I'm learning, I can teach y'all too. That's why I said go and get Earn While You Save. So we're going to listen to a little bit, then I give my thoughts and my final thoughts. All right. So let's get to it.
You got plenty of time. Life, honestly.
Let's go back.
I'm not about to keep ruining my daughter and her future by creating these unrealistic expectations for when she go to college, because then she's going to be a poor college student, and Anton is not going to. I'm not going to support it. I may pay for it, but you're going to have to suffer through that one, man. While she's walking on her boot and her Yeezy sandal over into the beach. I don't know what to think. But no, you guys got time, honestly. You really do. Stop overthinking it. Stop thinking that things are at the end of the road just because you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. It's not. You got plenty of time. Life is good. I need to take off these Versace's, the shoes, so I can walk on this sand. I got a secret spot, a secret place that I come to in order to be able to get really great parking. I never have a problem parking over here, and it's awesome. It's gonna be a little bit more windy out here, but we cool with that. You got time, fam. Stop whining about it. I wonder how cold that is.
Hey, I want to be honest. I'm gonna be honest with y'all real quick, bro. I want to be honest with y'all real quick. So if you ain't here, just stay for a second and just hear me out. Hear me out. Anton Daniels put a battery in my back. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It may sound like I'm glazing, but that's not what this is, bro. I'm dead ass serious. He put a battery in my back. You know, I've listened to a lot of his live streams. I actually had the opportunity to do a one-on-one with him, have the conversation with him, and doing this content creation and learning the things from him and what he's doing to literally run up a bag, bro. Because and listen, it may sound like I'm promoting him, but I'll be honest with you. The reason I'm thinking the way that I'm thinking and the way and the kind of moves that I'm making is because of the things that he taught me and that he told me to look out for in order to reach a bag to. The goal ain't to have 2 million subscribers. It's not. It's not. The goal is to have real people that rock with me. I'm talking real. So that means if I got 5,000 subscribers, but they rock with me heavy, I'm talking they go to the ends of the earth for your boy. They in every live stream interacting, doing the super chats, supporting the boy shit, sharing it, joining, when I eventually I'm gonna get to a point once I get a big enough community, I think I'm gonna do meetups too. But that's later on in the future, right? But once I get to a point where I'm doing different things and I got different brand deals and we're having deeper conversations, all I really care about is the people that rock with me and that's going to continue to rock with me, and we going to continue to keep running up a bag. That's my main focus, bro. That is my main focus. Facts, Nick. Quality over quantity. You can have, because I know plenty of people. I'll give you an example. I'm gonna say this as vague as I possibly can because I don't want to give too much information. I don't want that to seem as if I'm giving away his shit, right? I'll use somebody else. I know somebody who has significantly less than 1 million subscribers, and they made way more money than your favorite YouTuber. Hear me again when I say this. There is somebody that I know, and I'm not talking about Anton. There is somebody that I know. They have significantly less subscribers on their YouTube channel, and they make significantly more money than your favorite YouTuber who has over 1 million subscribers. Let that shit sink in. We're not talking about from different investments. We're not talking about from brand deals. We're talking about just strictly content creation from YouTube. Way more money because he has a quality of people that rock with him. Every time he's in a live stream, the people are there. They're super chatting. They're talking in the chat. They're reacting. They're doing everything. They're having a conversation in the chat, super chatting. Whatever the topic is, they rocking out with it. That's the type of YouTube channel I want, and that I'm building and growing here. That's what I'm focused on. We ain't worried about the 2 million subscribers. I'll be fine. I would be fine with the 100,000 and making 6 figures every month from that. Real talk, like real talk. It's not insane to say. It's not, because there are people that's doing that. So that's not insane. Just so y'all know. But let's keep it playing.
How cold do you think that water is? Look at the view. God, this place is dreamy. No matter how many times that I come here, it never gets any less dreamy. But
what's she doing back there?
You still got time to run the numbers up. You still got time to run the checks up. You still got time when it comes to finances, resources, getting married, relationships. But you're going to have to stop beating yourself up, because once you beat yourself up, you start subjecting yourself to this duress mindset. And a duress mindset leads to nothing but panic. And then you start doing the same thing and making the same mistakes over and over again. That's not going to get you anything. It's not going to be successful. It's not going to be none of that. A lot of the problems that I see with people is that they surround themselves with negative people.
Mm-hmm.
You're around people that don't pour into you. You're around people that don't add no value into your life. And so as a result, because they have this negative mindset and they under duress, even the married people, right? Let's talk about relationships. There's married people that are unsuccessfully married, meaning that they're just wasting time with their partner and they're not having a good time. Life isn't good. It isn't awesome or anything like that. And they giving marriage advice. Just because you married don't mean that you're giving married advice.
Fact.
Just because you old don't mean that you are OG. Just because you've had a career don't mean that you were successful in it. Y'all got to start mining through and figuring out who you want to align yourself with, because all of these people don't have your intention. Like, they don't have good intentions for what it is that you're trying to do. They don't always know. They don't always have a blueprint. They can't add value to your life. And just because they old don't mean that they should be your coach. And just because they took a class don't mean that they should be a life coach.
Fact.
Real talk. Real talk. I'm just going to be real with you. In the meantime, we're going to enjoy life. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to continue to be a simp father. I know that's a term, a simp father. I'm going to continue to be a simp father for my wife and my daughter right now while we out here in Miami until we return back, and then we fly out to Vegas. Yo, Patreon members, for those of you that don't know, stop wasting time. We are going to be in Vegas May 14th for the meetup. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And if you've been to any of my meetups,
man, shout out to AD. Listen, bro, real talk, bro. This is, I'll say it again. I said it once, I'll say it again, bro. The battery is in my back, man. I am growing. Slow growth is what's going to create the real, true, solid foundation. I don't need to grow fast, but as long as I see my growth, that's all I care about. That's all I care about. As long as I see growth, as long as I see that I'm moving forward. We'll make changes, we'll make corrections along the way. That's the purpose of this. That's why I decided to not wait to be a perfectionist. I didn't wait to the right time to do it. I said, let me start. I can figure everything else out along the way, because I want y'all to see the journey. I want y'all to see the glow up. I want y'all to see different shit happening. I want you to see, just notice little nicks here and there. One day you might end up seeing me with the rollie on my wrist. You know, just something different here and there. You may see a chain. You may see a new chain on me one day. You may see something in the background that's changed. It's all about the incremental details and the slow growth and the slow build to become where I want to be. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Where we can still have real conversations, but we can still grow and use the platform to also help other individuals who are struggling, because there are a lot of men out here struggling. There are a lot of women who are out here struggling, and they want to hear somebody like me. That's real talk. You may think that you're inadequate. You may think that you don't have a voice. You may think that don't nobody want to hear me. You'll be surprised who want to hear you. You'll be surprised at the people who align with you. You never know. You never know until you put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Now let's talk about the money the money aspect of it. You don't have to be an entrepreneur in order to get your money up. You don't have to continue. Now, it's of course that's a goal. If you have it, great. That's a great goal to have. However, if you're just a regular 9-to-5 person, you're not looking at You're not looking at trying to become an entrepreneur. You can still running your bag up and make your money while you sleep, bro. Listen, I got the blueprint and I learned it from somebody who was doing it, and they are extremely successful. And the reason I know that they're extremely successful because they show the receipts. They got the receipts. So therefore, that told me I need to take heed and listen to what this person is saying so I can run up a bag too, along with having a 9-to-5. And since I've been doing that, I have been able to do that. I have been able. Now, am I at that place where I'm like, oh, hell yeah? Not yet. But again, it's slow growth. It's slow building. But my money is working for me right now. As we speak, as I'm doing this live stream, my money is working for me right now. I got the blueprint, the beginner's guide, earn while you save. Go and get it. There's a promo out right now. Go and get it. It's only $9. The price will be going up soon, but it's $9 right now. You should go get it. The link is in the description. This ain't me trying to just to run up a bag and give you some bullshit. No, this is real life stuff that you can implement today. If you got a 9-to-5. This is coming from a kid who went from hooping in Alabama to boots on the ground in Iraq to corporate America. This is who this is coming from. But hey, I provided you the information. It's on you to take the action. Ain't nobody gonna make you do it. So you can talk about being a perfectionist. You could talk about how you ain't ready, or you could talk about, well, you got to wait for this to happen. Listen, nobody's going to do it for you. You got to be the one to do it. And if you don't do it, time is just going to continue to keep passing you by. You're going to blink, and next thing you know, you 60 years old. Like, what the fuck life went? Nope, not I. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I refuse. So tonight was a great live. I don't know if y'all can tell or not. I don't know if y'all can tell. The quality of the video is a little bit different today. It's because I changed cameras. If it ain't, then oh well, I got some adjustment to do. But from my view, it looked like the quality of the camera is a little bit different, and it looked a little bit better. I like what I'm seeing. I'm loving it. I finally figured this camera shit out. So so let's give it a round of applause for me. So listen, also, if you want to, so on Tuesdays, right? I want to start doing a panel. I got 3 guys already locked in. I need 3 consistent women. Now it can, it can enter, we can do some substitute, alternate here and there, but I need at least one consistent woman who's going to be able to be on the panel every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I want to start holding a panel where we can talk about hot topics and different conversations so I can get the thoughts and opinions of many other different individuals. I just be the one to host it. And so, we can have these deeper conversations. So if you are interested, shoot me a DM on my IG. That's Courtnee. It's Courtnee.Edgar. It's Courtnee.Edgar. I think I changed it though. It's either Courtnee.Edgar or Courtnee Edgar Show. I have to go back and check. I think I changed it to Courtnee Edgar Show. So Courtnee Edgar Show or Courtnee.Edgar, just try both of those, and whichever one pop up, then you got the right one. Shoot me a DM if you're interested in joining the panel on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on a consistent basis. But here's the qualification that I need from you. And matter of fact, just so y'all know, and y'all can read it and understand what's expected. Let me pull it up. Give me a second. All right, so yeah, it is it's Courtnee Edgar Show. It's Courtnee Edgar Show. So yeah, type that in, and then it should pop up. So here's what I need. This is what I need from the women. I'm gonna read it word for word. So bear with me for a second. You don't have to be an IG model. But you do need a solid look, which means I do want some quality looking women on the panel, of course. Appeal does matter. So I'm telling you, trust me on this. Appeal does matter. A strong point of view. So whether you are on one side or the other. Stand on it. Comfortable speaking on hot topics, dating, gender roles, money, etc. No wallflowers. I need women to speak with confidence and add value to the conversation. Filming is virtual only, so it's all virtual. Yeah, so yeah, that's everything. So if you are that person, DM me, Panel Queen. Let me say it again. DM me, Panel Queen, on my Instagram if you are interested in joining the panel on Tuesday nights. All right. So that being said, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for tapping in with me. Listen, let's get these subscribers up to 1,000 so we can get monetized. So make sure you share this with everybody that you know. All right, and tell them, listen, I need you to go subscribe to my boy right now. Right now. All right. So until next time, I'll see y'all good people. I hope y'all have a blessed day. I love y'all, man.